We've got less than a day before the Fenix 8 is official, and it's all happening now. You know that one Europe song?
It's the final countdown.
The Fenix 8 will be officially announced tomorrow, but don't let that stop us from going over hands-on photos, videos, and a last-second leak that MIP is here to stay. Let's cover all that right now. Okay, I had this video all figured out as of yesterday morning, and then as I'm looking around to be sure I'm bringing you guys the latest news, I see that Fenix 8 is not only already in some retail stores, but people are walking in and buying them as well. Let's go back a couple days. There's a site called Keter.com, which seems to be Ukrainian, and they have hands-on photos of the Fenix 8, and they also posted a quick video. So let's start there. Now we can see here the retail packaging, the lens sticker, the startup animation as they boot it up. And after that we get a view of a few of the default watch faces and the always on display in action. And we finally get something interesting here, the voice command feature list. Voice commands can set timers, start activities, save locations, adjust settings, and apparently some more as well. Pretty general, but they leave it open there. Maybe there's some more cool features waiting for us. Then we see what we could do by connecting to the phone's voice assistant, which includes making calls, sending messages, get information, which I'd assume is just kind of a general search, right? Using like a Google Assistant or Siri. And of course, it also lists some more. We then get confirmation that there are new activities for scuba diving and snorkeling. And if you missed my last video talking about that, be sure to check it out. And finally, we see the back showing the Gen 5 Elevate sensor, and we also see the European pricing for the assorted models. So normally this would be pretty amazing to have hands-on videos ahead of launch, but things do not stop there. Multiple users have posted on both Facebook and Reddit that they've gone into Bass Pro Shops, which if you aren't in the US, it's an outdoors retailer, and they have the Fenix 8 in the Garmin display case next to all the other models already. Now, before you run to Bass Pro Shop, keep in mind that everyone that currently has one is unable to connect them to Garmin Connect. The watch is not yet recognized. I'm sure there'll be an update that goes out when the official retail launch comes. One user even went right in and bought one, and they were awesome enough to show all the stock watch faces. If you see in this video, they scroll through all of the options that come with the watch, and they look a little bare here, so I'm kind of assuming that you have to select the watch face, select the colors, the accent colors, which data fields you want, and then you end up with some of the results that you'd see in these other images now. I also saw they said the battery life was estimated at 5 days while they had a 66% charge. So perhaps the always on display life will go from a 6-day life to a 7 or even 8-day battery. That would be a nice plus. Now at this point I have to point out we're definitely getting a larger display in the 8 compared to the Pro lines of the Fenix and the Epics. You can see the display to bezel ratio is quite a bit different, and that bezel has been slimmed down a decent bit while still keeping some of the classic Fenix styling. Okay, now this last second leak caught me by surprise because I haven't seen this anywhere else. All of the leaks have pointed to an OLED display for the entire lineup of the Fenix. But a German site called, and I'll mess this up, Lounge, has very specific information about MIP versions for the 47 and 51 millimeter versions of the Fenix 8. From what I've seen, the wording on the site will very closely match what will be in the official Garmin press release, perhaps only different because I'm using Google Translate. But if you check this out, you can choose between models with OLED and energy-saving MIP display with solar. It then goes on to talk about the increased efficiency of the solar lens, and at the end states that both the 47 and 51 millimeter versions have MIP displays. Now I don't know anything about this site, but from what I've seen elsewhere and just from my own point of view, this looks like copy provided by Garmin to retailers. This isn't just some random blogger that's spouting out nonsense, and I guess it's going to be confirmed or not extremely soon. Finally, I want to point out two other items here that are pretty interesting to me. This site calls out display sizes. Remember how I just said you could tell the 47mm is getting a bigger display? Well, you can see it here listed as a 1.4 inch display versus the current 1.3 inch display on the Pro line. Although the 51mm is listed at the same 1.4 inch, which is what the current Pro 51mm has as well. And last but not least, I should also mention the S size, coming in at 43mm size versus the 42 of last gen. The display will also get bumped up 1/10 of an inch to be the 1.3 inch versus the 1.2 from last gen. I'm personally loving the bigger display to body ratio. As long as those bezels stay raised up and rugged to protect the display, this is nothing but good news in my view. Now the other thing worth mentioning is this sports specific training that's mentioned here. It seems somewhat vague, but I've seen rumors that Garmin has made some big improvements in areas like strength training to have actual programming of some levels of periodization, including phases like accumulation, intensification, realization, and deloading. This is all extremely new, whereas before you were just kind of recording the sets and reps you did. It looks like you could get actual programs now. Well, when I first started working on this video, I thought it was going to be 4 leaked images and a clip a few seconds long, but we have so much information that if that German site does indeed have the official copy from Garmin, there isn't too much left to reveal tomorrow. But I'm still excited to have the few remaining questions answered just hours from now. Now that we've seen the watch, seen some of the updates, are you liking what you're seeing? Are you on your way to your local Bass Pro Shop as we speak? Let me know in the comments, and if you made it to the end, I appreciate you hanging with me today. If you liked the video, throw a thumb. Be sure to subscribe to get the latest rumors, news, and reviews for the Garmin Fenix 8, fitness gear, and workouts in general. I also wanted to take a moment to thank everyone who supported the channel recently. It's getting amazing momentum, and I'm excited to keep working to bring content that's worth your time and support. I'm Dave, and this is Dave Does Fitness. Have an awesome day and stay fit.